I want to talk to you today about perspective. I remember my wife coming home one time and in a bit of a panic, and I said to her, "What's going on, honey?" And she goes, "You wouldn't believe the day that I've had." I'm like, "Tell me about it." So she says, "I went into this little local butcher that we would quite often frequent, and my kids were really young at the time. We had 2 kids at the time, and they were both in car seats. And she just had to run in and grab a couple of things and come right back out. And she didn't want the hassle of unstrapping it. And it was a really safe town. So she just ran in, grabbed the items, came back out. And when she came back out, she saw her van door open with a lady inside of the van reaching to get the children. Fear, right? So all of a sudden, she runs up to this lady. She goes, excuse me, can I help you with something?" And the lady turned around and said, what do you mean? And then, perspective. She realized that it was not her van, but a van that looked a lot like ours. In fact, hers was the one directly behind it. And she realized that the kids that this lady was reaching in were not our children, but her children. So she says, I'm so sorry. Look, we have the same van, and look, it even has dirt in the same spots. And then, I'm so sorry, have a good day, and she left. Well, she came home, and after she told me that story, I remember her saying, "I prayed on the way home that for the first time in my life that lady would go and find Jesus if she didn't know Jesus, but just not at her church, because she never ever wanted her to know that she was the pastor's wife." This perspective in the world right now, a lot of people are talking about fear. A lot of people are talking about social isolation. A lot of people are talking about just hiding and just staying away from everything. It's like, okay, there's wisdom in that. There's wisdom in isolation. However, if we are the church, and we are the church today without a building, but the body of Christ, I've been saying that from day one. My friends, you are the church. How can the church be mobilized during this time? I would encourage you in listening prayer to ask the Lord for His perspective on today. Ask the Lord, in the midst of this chaos, in the midst of this anxiety, in the midst of all this, Lord, would you give me your perspective? How can I be the church when the church doesn't look like it did 2 weeks ago? How can I be the church when I myself have got all these questions and concerns? The Lord will lead you, and He'll guide you. For if God is for us, who can be against? Lord bless you.